pretty much all we need today. There's some wood sorrel. That looks like some type of plantain there. There's really not hardly anything out here. I don't know if that's some type of wild carrot. I think that's what that is. We've got some clover over here. Most of the stuff's all the same. Looks like all some type of plantain, really. I think that's some type of wild carrot. You see the Zoysia's got a lot of green in it though, especially in the thin areas. That's pretty much it. There's a lot of moss in here. And that, I saw that same thing on my first renovation that I did, but as soon as the summertime comes around and the cooler weather goes away, this moss will be gone and you won't see it back as soon as the grass fills in a little bit. All right, so this video is going to be talking about killing some winter weeds in zoysia grass. This is going to be on my renovation that I did last spring. It's got a few thin areas in it where winter weeds have popped up. In my renovation that I did 2 growing seasons ago, don't have anything but just a few poa plants that we're not going to worry about. So it stays so thick that it usually chokes out the winter weeds, but for the most part, the first year go around, it's not going to choke them out. All right, so we're going to be going out today with this Celsius WG herbicide and identifying several of the weeds that we have on the label. We've got 3 different rates that we can go out with for this Celsius, depending on the weed that you want to target. And here's the chart that shows you exactly what the use rate is per 1,000 square foot. And we're going to go with that low rate, 0.057 ounces per 1,000 square foot. So I've got a basic scale here. Just turn it on. Since this is a dry product, we're going to be using a scale to weigh it out. If it was a liquid, you would use a measuring beaker like this right here. So that's important to remember. Just tear it out. Make sure that we're on ounces. So we're going 10,000 square foot at 0.057 ounces of Celsius. So that would be 0.57 ounces of Celsius. And if you use the measuring cup that comes with the chemical, it will have a way that you can measure it out in the field without a scale. But when you're talking about 0.57 versus 0.67, that's going to be really hard to tell on that little numerical scale on the side. So it's better just to use a scale so you can get it exact. All right, we're going to be using this Strom battery powered backpack sprayer today. I got it calibrated at 1 quart per 1,000 square foot. So that's going to take 10 quarts or 2.5 gallons to cover it. Since we're really not adding that much product, I went ahead and put 2.5 gallons of water in there. If you were using a bunch of liquid, you would make sure that you had enough room to get your liquid in there to have a complete solution of 2.5 gallons, but this isn't going to change it much. So make sure you always put your water in first. We're going to dump that in. Give it a real good shake. I lied, we are going to need a measuring beaker as well for this methylated seed oil, and I've just got this generic methylated seed oil picked up from Site 1. And per the label, we can go at a rate of 1/3 of an ounce to 1/2 ounce per gallon of water. So since we got 2.5 gallons of water here, we're going to go with just about 1 ounce or so of this methylated seed oil. Should be fine. So since it is a liquid, you are going to use your measuring beaker. Makes more sense with that, but So it seems like get a lot of questions on how to spot spray a weed versus broadcast spray it. I'm gonna show you how to do it. So first thing is you gotta have a tip that's calibrated correctly. And so what you're gonna do is you're gonna be walking along in a straight line just like you're broadcast spraying. And when you get to the weed, you're not holding the trigger. When you get to the weed, just pull the trigger, walk over it, and keep going just like that. I'll show you again on the different one here. So you just walk up to it, you pull the trigger, let go. So you're not changing your walking pace. You're definitely not doing this, because that's for sure going to damage your desirable grass if you were out in the yard somewhere. So spot spraying is the same as broadcast. You just only pull the trigger when you get to the weed and let go of the trigger when you pass over the weed. No different. The only thing you're doing is saving chemical. I hope that helped out. Celsius is a good herbicide to have on hand. I really don't spray a whole lot of it in my Zoysia, but it does cover a good broad spectrum of the winter weeds that we see. Certainty is another good one, and if you mix the two together, it's probably going to get 99% of what you're going to see in your Zoysia. We'll check back in a couple weeks and give y'all an update and see how things are looking. Appreciate you watching.